Hi there, my name is Tracy from Randomness of Rudy, and in this video we're going to talk about Cancer in a relationship with Aries. This is actually a part of my YouTube series on the Cancer experience where I talk about Cancer in a relationship with each sign of the zodiac. And so if you haven't seen the first video I did where I go a bit more in depth on what it's actually like to date a Cancer, please go back and check that out. Cancer with Aries is a very interesting match, to say the least. In other words, this is a very tough match. And it's a tough match for one main reason, and that is that both signs are very different. Cancer is a water sign, Aries is a fire sign, and if you look at the elements alone, they don't go well together. Now, interestingly enough, both signs will always be drawn to each other. There is this initial attraction that neither sign can avoid. And I think this has to do with the fact that, both signs are cardinal signs, meaning both signs are just full of a very raw and passionate energy, and that is definitely what will fascinate the two. For certain in the beginning. Cancer will be attracted to this bad boy, persona or bad girl persona that Aries tends to exhibit. And that is because as a fire sign, Aries is very much an extrovert. Aries is an initiating kind of energy. Aries is a sign that is risk-taking and doesn't like to take orders from authority and will pretty much do his or her own thing. And Cancer is going to be drawn to that for certain. Meanwhile, Aries is going to be drawn to Cancer's nurturing side. Aries needs a partner that is going to be more feminine. And I mean this for both males and females. And that's not to say that Cancer men are girly, but it is to say that Cancer men are more in touch with their feminine side, which isn't a bad thing at all. And so Aries is going to be attracted to Cancer's nurturing side. Aries is going to appreciate the fact that Cancer wants to take care of him or her. Aries is going to appreciate Cancer's, consideration and dependability and caring nature, okay? So this is definitely, these are things that will definitely draw these two signs together from the very beginning. Now, as you move on into the relationship, that's when it starts to get a little tough. That's when that water becomes a bit choppy. Aries is a very independent, needing, seeking sign. And Cancer wants to stay at home. Cancer wants to play family. Cancer wants to cuddle. And there's nothing wrong with any of these things as far as Cancer goes. However, Cancer can be somewhat clingy. Cancer isn't going to understand why Aries always has to be on the go. Cancer is going to want to spend most of his or her time with Aries. And that's not bad. It's just Aries is not going to want to do those things. Aries isn't going to want to stay indoors every day. Aries isn't going to want to watch a movie every Saturday night. Aries needs to be free to roam. And so if Cancer can extend a very long leash, then that could be something that serves as a compromise between these two signs. In the bedroom is definitely where any kind of disagreements can be resolved when it comes to Cancer and Aries, sexually speaking. And that is because, again, both signs are very passionate. And I think Cancer will find a very satisfying lover with Aries. And Aries will also be very satisfied with Cancer. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is that you will have to learn how to identify a shared rhythm between you. Cancer definitely enjoys more foreplay, and Aries enjoys foreplay as well, but is also very anxious to get to that final stage of the play, if you will. And so this is something that Cancer will have to be mindful of. And in the meantime, Aries will have to understand that Cancer needs a little bit more attention in the boudoir before getting to the main event. But sexually speaking, definitely very compatible. When it comes to your disagreements, this is really important because you both have very different fighting styles. Aries is in your face and then gets over it. Cancer is very passive and then disappears. And this cycle is not going to help you at all. And so it will be very important for both signs to understand that when you're upset about something, you need to communicate. You need to discuss what the issue is. Aries, it's going to be very important that you learn how to manage that temper. And Cancer, it's going to be very important that you learn how to communicate and express yourself when something is wrong. It's also going to be important to keep in mind, Cancer, that, when Aries gets upset, Aries gets over it. Aries doesn't hold grudges. Aries forgives a lot easier than you. And so that's something that you're going to have to remember, okay, whenever you have any kind of disagreement. And Aries, please remember as well that Cancer is very sensitive and is very emotional. And so when you do have these temper tantrums, it can really hurt Cancer's feelings, all right? So please keep these things in mind when it comes to your disagreements. Now, like I said, this is a tough match, but if you can get through that adjustment period, it's definitely a match that will go the distance and in a very passionate and loving way. If you want more information, feel free to visit my website at randomnessofrudy.com. And until next time, good luck.